Julia Margaret Cameron was one of the most important and innovative photographers of the 19th century. She was born in 1815, but she didn't take up photography until the 1860s. In 1863, she was 48 years old, and she was given a camera as a present. She was an amazingly energetic woman, and she just threw herself into photography. She was a pioneering portrait photographer. She worked exclusively in portraiture, and she photographed many of the leading intellectuals and artists of her own time. She also made staged photographs of tableaus based on stories from literature or history, and also made numerous religious subjects as well. Her sitters were drawn from her intellectual and artistic circle, and as well as her own household staff. She photographed her own domestic servants repeatedly, and she was also a wonderful photographer of children. In 1865, the South Kensington Museum acquired from Julia Margaret Cameron 114 photographs. These photographs are still in the museum's collection, and today the V&A has over 250 photographs by Julia Margaret Cameron. Our Cameron holdings are really some of the treasures of our collection. And by studying these original photographs, we can learn so much more about her process, about her intentions, about what she was trying to do with these photographs, how she wanted them presented, and how they might have been understood at the time that she was making them. Not only did Julia Margaret Cameron exhibit her photographs at the South Kensington Museum in 1865, the same year that the museum collected her work. In 1868, she used 2 rooms at the museum as a studio, perhaps qualifying her as its first artist in residence. This is Henry Cole's diary from 1868. Henry Cole was the founding director of the South Kensington Museum, which is now the Victoria and Albert Museum. Just as for Cameron herself, her professional activities were very much intertwined with her social life. And on the 14th of March, 1868, Henry Cole records in his diary, "After lunch with Mrs. Cameron, who took 6 negative portraits of me." So this gives us some indication of how many tries it might have taken to get a successful portrait.
Julia Margaret Cameron is my great-great-great-grandmother, and I'm descended from her son Eugene. So I'm the 3rd generation grandchildren, and I'm also Julia Margaret Cameron. There was definitely a presence in the household. I mean, there was a lot of her books around, and we did have a few prints, and when we'd go and visit family, they'd often talk about her. But actually, when I started being interested in photography, when I was a bit older, I would start coming to the V&A and finding out more about her, and the more you find out, the more you want to know, and then I was kind of looking to find out about her and her character, and her as a woman as well as a photographer. So this is the first time I've actually seen her letters in physical form, which is just incredible. I'm just really inspired, and she, it's amazing that she's got this really powerful energy that comes through her letters, so it's amazing to actually be able to see them in person. 20th of May, 1865. My dear Mr. Cole, I have real pleasure in telling you that Mr. Watts thinks my photograph of you extremely fine. 21st of February, 1866. My dear Mr. Cole, I write to you if you'll be having any photographic soiree or meeting soon, which I have so perpetually remembered all your helping kindness and ever friendly hand to me in the earlier years of my art, that I delight in now sending you my last portrait of Alfred Tennyson, which I think you will agree with me in feeling is a national treasure of immense value for me. I will come up and work with renewed energy at your museum, so that I'm eager for an answer, and I know that your kindness needs no fanning into action. Yours very truly, with my love to your wife and to Alan, and to yours ever, Julia Margaret Cameron.
She was using the Wet Collodion process, and this was a very cumbersome process. The photographs were made onto glass plates. These are large glass plates. All of her prints are contact prints. So whenever you see a Julia Margaret Cameron print, you know that the negative had to be at least as large as the image that you're looking at. So these are large glass plates, they're fragile, and they have to be coated with a number of different substances at different stages in their processing. There are a lot of opportunities to make mistakes. And Cameron was a very exuberant character, and you feel her energy when you look at her photographs. She was so excited about this new way that she was making art, that she was expressing herself artistically. In Cameron's photographs, there are all sorts of things that other photographers would have dismissed as flaws, but what she seemed to embrace. So for example, there are smudges, there are even her own fingerprints sometimes on the photographs, embedded into the photographic negative. There are smears, there are swirls, and today I think those imperfections are very attractive to contemporary audiences because we can see that these are handmade objects. These aren't the cold, precise results of a machine, and we really get a sense of an individual artist who produced these works of art.